Hello, all. This is Josh One, and well, we had some new news come out today. Apparently, the devs did a bunch more interviews, so I got some highlights. I thought I'd go over uh, what they said, what's going on, and just give my thoughts and reactions. So to start off with, start talking about the Azerite options for the Azerite gear for the Hardy Azerite and stuff. So here we go. It says while the first row of Azernite options give an option one option per spec, some of these options will involve spells shared between specs, and so would be an option for both. I can kind of see that, but I mean, I only have that one chess piece right now, and it doesn't. And honestly, most he said some, and I said and maybe just like one of those options would involve spells that can go between specs. I don't know about that. I'm gonna have to see more of the armor and stuff. I think. It does say that the armor, Azerite armor choices will be able to respect, but it doesn't say how or how often. And they also said there will be no crazy numbers for Azerite power like there was for artifact power, which is a good thing. Um, then they start guiding some stuff about raids and stuff. They will release on a raid schedule quite similar to Legion, which I think is a good idea. I like the pacing of the raids for Legion. They said the unique Azerite abilities and trinkets can be found in raids. This is an incentive to raid since tier pieces are gone, and the best raids will still come from mythic raiding. Yay! Except for people like me who haven't stepped foot in a mythic raid yet. Um, let's see. The team wants to have unique abilities for each class and moments in raids for them to shine. But raid encounters that require a specific class will only show up in mythic raids. So there's that. Which, I can understand that. That's probably a good idea. Queen Ashara is basically the Gul'dan of Battle for Azeroth, meaning we'll probably kill her after the first major raid, which is not bad. I like that. It means we'll have definitely means that we're gonna have some old god stuff going on, which is always good. Because who doesn't like tentacles? Um, One of the purposes of the first raid, Yoldair is trying to figure out how to kill an old god without killing the host in the process. I actually can't wait for this. I like the story of this. I hope it turns out well because I'm a big lore and story guy, so I'm really excited for this. I really hope this turns out well. They did say there's a possibility of one-off legendaries for Battle for Azeroth. They didn't say what kind of legendaries. Rather, they're going to go back to the how they did it before. You know, like the staff or or the hammer and stuff. So we'll have to see how they implement it this time around. Next up, they discussed some Mythic Dungeon stuff, Mythic Plus Dungeon stuff. They said the possibility of affixes such as the rage zone ability that's in like Dead Mines. Basically, that's where they put up that giant red bubble. For anybody who hasn't done it in a while, and basically mobs do more damage, but they also take more damage when they're inside of it. So new affixes would be quite nice. I hope to see stuff like that. The group finder will be updated so you can search for Mythic Pluses by level. That's a good thing. It's a very good thing. And the team apparently talked about having a head of the curve and seasons for Mythic Plus. Okay. What if they'll have like rewards for it too? That would be kind of cool. Tied in with like achievements like they had in Legion. That'd be kind of neat. I hope they do something like that. Because Mythics Plus, let's face it, plus 15 and more and stuff, those really get into just, being like mini raids and stuff for people, which is really fun. I find them to be challenging and really fun content. They said there will be another faction in the expansion that has mini game world quests like the current tour had in Legion. Let's hope that these mini game quests are not as bugged as the current tour ones were. At least not at the beginning of Legion, because oh my god. At least that was my experience. Next up, they went into some stuff about the island expeditions. They want islands to be relevant the entire expansion. They said they have some ideas for the advanced AI, but if they want to see how players react to it first in the expeditions. Um, Honestly, my experiences with it have been really cool. I hope they use the advanced AI in other content within the game. I think dungeons or raids or world bosses or rares or just everyday mobs and stuff, I think could use some more of the advanced AI. I think they could really use that stuff all over the game. That I think they're pretty neat. I think that there could definitely be some interesting things they could do. They said in the future there might be expedition type things that have more than that are available to more than 3 players at a time, which kind of would make them probably dungeons at that point. But hey, next up they talked about some war fronts. They said the war fronts will be up for testing on the alpha soon. That is really cool. I'm glad to hear that. I cannot wait to get in and try this out because everything I've seen and heard about it, it looks really and sounds really cool. I cannot wait to get my hands on this. They said the Warfront rewards will be updated over the expansion to make sure to encourage people to participate throughout the expansion, which is also a very good thing. I like that they don't want. In other words, they're not like making it's just gonna be like 1 or 2 off content and then boom, it goes away. Halfway through expansion or something. I'm hoping that they can keep that promise. There will not be a weekly cap on Azerite that you can mine, which is a good thing, since one of the things to turn in so you can do the war fronts is Azerite. I'm happy to see that. Now they go into basically just some general overall stuff about different things. So we'll just get into it, and I'll let you know what I think. They said anything implemented on the NPC models could be implemented for player models in the future, such as the Forsaken being upright, stuff like that. They said there will be a cinematic for the burning of Tidrassil and the battle for Lordaeron, which I think we all kind of guessed. And they said there may be more hidden mounts because the team did like watching the community come together to solve the puzzles. That was a lot of fun, actually. I never actually got around to finishing it yet, unfortunately, but I did do quite a few of the puzzles, and they were actually a lot of fun. They went into some next up. They got level scaling, and the changes that came with it was made basically for leveling more enjoyable for new players. Which, if you're a new player, they definitely is. My son recently started playing, and he's been enjoying the leveling process. Of course, someone like me who's gone through that process about 8 or 9 times, it's even making it a little slower. I mean, overall, it is still enjoyable, but it's definitely a little slower. But it is it is more fun. But it still gets a little tiresome after a while. But that's it's definitely made for new players. It's definitely not made for people that have a lot of alts and stuff. So let's see. Next up, they said they are aware of the imbalance in hardcore raiding guilds, faction imbalance, and that they have some ideas on how to solve it, but that's for nothing to announce. It's for the future soon. They said any racials that are found to be overpowered will be adjusted as needed. There are still no plans for a subclass feature. Damn you, Blizzard. And they said, lore-wise, you will find out how the Zandalari Troll and the Colteran Druids form of Druidism is very distinct from the existing races, which, if you know anything a little bit about, lore, then you should know some of why that is. And they also said making cool druid forms is important because druids don't display their gear as frequently as everyone else, which, as a former druid player, I can definitely say is correct. They said the team also still believes that when an expansion first launches, the best way to expand is on the ground. They have learned a lot from warlords and legions flying, and will use what they have learned for flying in Battle for Azeroth. Now, I'm okay with this, and I still don't like the sound of this because I liked the way it was in like Wrath of the Lich King, where you went through and you couldn't fly, but once you got to max level, you could pay and you could fly around. I think that was some of the best. I think that is the best way to do it. Even if you had to, instead of pay, if you had to go through a quest line to do it, I think that's fine as long as it's not like a gated quest line. I don't want one where I have to go through a quest and I'm not a huge fan of the way they did it in Warlords and or Legion to get flying. I It wasn't like a game stopper. I wasn't gonna like stop playing because of it, but I was not a huge fan of it whatsoever. So I'm not really looking forward to that part, unfortunately. And last but not least, they said Survival Hunters and Demonology Warlocks are the two specs that got the most reworks in the new expansion. Which, after playing both of them on the alpha, I can definitely see why they are. They play some of its stuff is quite a bit different. They are a lot of nice overhauls, actually. I think for both specs for both classes and specs. But that's about it. Just a quick little update news-wise. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and as always, have a good day, and I will see you next time.